Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the World Championship Series America. I'm Nathanius. With me is Todd. And, you know, I love Terran versus Zerg so much.
I bet you do. I love Protoss versus Zerg too, and Protoss versus Terran. No, I like Terran versus Zerg. It's action-packed. I really feel like there is a lot you can make happen if you have very good multitask, very good macro. You can turn around crazy situations like Polt did earlier, and that's always a good thing to have in a matchup.
Yeah, we've actually, I think most of the games we've had today have been pretty cool. Just lots of back and forth, explosive early action. And this next series, I feel, will, not be terribly different from that. The two players that we have coming up to play against each other, Polt and TooDming, really cool guys. And I really like how TooDming's got his own little crazy style going on, as well as, being able to see Polt play the standard Polt game that we expect. And to be honest, he kind of crushed through Czech in that first series he had.
Yeah, I think a lot of people here expected Polt and Bomber to be the winners match, but TooDming had to say something about this. And man, Polt, he's basically already has a foot in the global finals at the end of the year with the 6th place here.
Yeah, be really...
The only way he wouldn't go is if he doesn't win a single match until the end of the year and everybody starts winning like crazy, which I don't think is going to happen. Even then, he might still be qualified.
Yeah, even that would be quite difficult. He's been blasting through every season of WCS America since the beginning, and like you said, that rank, that position puts him in a phenomenal spot to get to BlizzCon again. Polt, though, he's always been good. We know that he's always been good. He's been one of the top contenders throughout pretty much all of StarCraft 2 from the days of Wings of Liberty, those early 2011 days, and I don't think we have low expectations of him. He's supposed to win this match. He's supposed to get out. His opponent, he's pretty good. I'd say he definitely pulled the upset, taking out Bomber. TooDming, our Chinese player, he's ranked 52. He's not supposed to beat players like this. He's that guy that you say, yeah, he's an underdog, and as much as you want to root for the underdog in an American story, he should get stomped out. But here he is. He's played very well so far.
This guy has absolutely no fear, man. He plays on his real account on the Korean ladder, and he's very high in Grandmaster, so most players, they kind of know how he plays. The thing is, he can play a lot of different styles. He can execute all-ins, he can macro very well. We saw it against Bomber and Overgrowth. This was a fairly passive game, not much was happening, and usually you would say players might be out of their comfort zone when that happens because they're used of action-packed game, in particular in TVZ, but TooDming didn't seem phased at all by it. He crushed Bomber completely on Overgrowth after just waiting, droning up, making enough units, and waiting for Bomber to move on the creep.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how that macro style for TooDming will play out against someone that uses, I'd say, a more rounded composition, right? When you look at the way that Polt plays, it's no secret. He uses units other than Marines and Marauders. He likes his Widow Mines. He likes to open up with the Hellions. And we even see a little bit of the Viking play early on to try to bring pressure. Polt is not going to sit on just 2 or 3 units for the whole game. And TooDming, he's got a much more, I'd say, complex opponent to go up against. Bomber, if you can beat the way that he plays, it's a very straightforward matchup.
Do you think Ro16 could be a good choice here, maybe against somebody like Polt, to do an all-in or to go into the later stage of the game after doing some aggression?
I think the maps could have a really big hand in this because we have had some interesting vetoes so far. We had that game on Alterzine that Bomber had to play. We had the game on Waystation that Polt played before. But Polt immediately crossing off Alterzine. I don't think any Terran player really wants to play on that map. I was surprised to see that Bomber didn't veto it in his original series against TooDming. But from TooDming, being the crazy player that he is, he could actually be that guy to veto Frost. I wouldn't be surprised, or veto any of the other safer maps. King Sejong Station is a kind of interesting veto since I feel like it's always been a fun map for Terran versus Zerg, but he doesn't want to have all that open space for drops in the later stages of the game.
Usually we see Overgrowth, Froth, and King Sejong Station or Habitation as the main 3 to 4 maps that are played, so I expect it's going to be the same here probably. Again, Merry-Go-Round probably going to be vetoed by TooDming here. So we at least get one wild card map,
Waystation. Right? Waystation's vetoed. So Merry-Go-Round is that map that I think this is going to be this is the first time that we're going to see it in this series if they get to that map. So we'll have to see what order they pick it in. But Frost, very standard map pick. Overgrowth, a very standard map pick. And I always love how in every series where we've had this odd map out, it's always the first one to get picked to start the series off. Neither player want to have the actual series. They don't want their life in the line on a map that they're not as comfortable playing on.
Maybe it's because there are like clear vetoes, and then another map where I guess you have to play. There's like 4 maps that they they would like to veto, and
Yeah.
you know, it gets a little bit complicated here and there. And now it's the moment that TooDming didn't veto merry-go-round, and when he did it before, I think Polt kind of picked up on that. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to pick that map, and I feel like we might see something special on that map. You know, remember when Pig Baby didn't veto merry-go-round and played on it? We saw something special. We saw a 2-base. So maybe TooDming has something planned here.
I'm excited to see what he's got in store. I'm also excited to see, as the players get ready for their next match, what our social media desk man, Joshua, has to say. Take it away, Clutch.
Thank you, Nathan. Man, you put me on the spot. You're so excited. I'm excited as well, and everyone's excited watching from around the world. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at StarCraft and use that hashtag WCS. The question right now, which 2 players will move on to the round of 8? Which 2 players go home? But we'll definitely see them next season. I'm surprised to see that there's a lot of people in the crowd cheering for TooDming. I know you're out there. It's a good number. But you can never, ever discount the amount of cheers there are for Polt. It is always huge. Always. Because he is the last hope of America, some say. As a reminder, too, if you enjoy all the action that's happening this week for WCS, make sure to check out the action happening for Red Bull. That's taking place in Atlanta at the Center Stage Theater. It's a beautiful theater. It's a theater in the round, so the seats are going to be awesome. More information can be found at redbull.com/US/EN/esports. $25,000 prize pool and 4,000 WCS points. Red Bull has a lot of great events happening this year. Go to that website for more information. If you don't believe me, check this out.
This is Red Bull Battlegrounds. Oh my God, a perfect detonation.
Great positioning for our Protoss player. Absolutely perfect play right now. What a game. 30 Marines remain. It's a dead even fight. There's no way it's going to avoid right to something.
We see the rest of the Immortals go down. Is this it? Yes, GG!
Man, what a great tournament Atlanta is going to be. I really want to go. I'll be in France at the time. You know what? If my manager's watching, can you please send me to Atlanta? Top 32 gets paid, man. This is what you've always wanted. And WCS finally made it happen. And I think most people are pretty happy with this. And now Atlanta, Red Bull Battlegrounds makes it happen too. No matter, like, you just win like 1 or 2 matches, you're already in the money. So that's pretty good.
That's pretty awesome.
Really excited for this.
I mean, I guess you'd have better chances. 32 sounds good. I don't know if I can make it.
Sounds like a good number for me.
Maybe even I could get there if we get lucky in the draw. Anything could happen, Todd. We're loading into the first map, though, of this awesome series we've got coming up. You said it, merry-go-round is a map that's been picked commonly when a player has something up their sleeve. And I think this is a great map for another unit that you mentioned earlier, Todd. Guess what unit it is?
The Roaches.
The Roaches. The Roaches are quite good on this map, and we are loaded in. It's time to see if any of those Roaches pop up. Of course, they would be built by none other than our illustrious Zerg player, spawning in blue in the bottom of merry-go-round. From Team Zenith of Origins, it is the stylish TooDming. His hair is so sick, man.
So is yours.
Thank you. His opponent in the top right position, the Red Terran player. Representing Cooler Master Storm, it is Polt.
Yeah, there's quite a few Chinese in the studio here. And not just like Edison, the translator and all that. I met some fans earlier. Pretty cool of them to show up and show some support here for TooDming. Alright, how likely is it that we're going to see some kind of either 2 or 3 base, like big timing with lots of Roaches and Banelings and Zerglings? So, and what, do you think TooDming has already made up his mind, or does he try to get a feel on how Polt is opening? But I think most people would expect Polt to play standard build here on this map.
So here's the thing, on this map, and I won't disagree with you about Polt playing standard. This is a map where you cannot really hide overlords behind the natural or the main base. Like there's that high ground area to the left side of the natural for Polt, but that's not really an ideal position to get a scout on what tech path he's going for. If Polt opens up with a Viking, mid to late game scouting gets very hard, drops become scary, and I also subscribe to the philosophy that the smaller the map is, the better it is for Terran when they're hitting you in all these different points at once. So TooDming, this, if you don't veto it as a Zerg player, is a very good map to bust out any aggressive strategies that you have.
Ooh, 4 on the gas for Polt here for a second. He's gonna fix that ASAP. And you think he goes again for like the quick Viking and then the tech lab, the mortars, the medivac and all that, and the quick steam? It really feels like he's quite naked when he does that. Like he has almost no units to possibly defend. And you see that big ramp too. Like how do you wall this off? It's super hard.
Yeah.
If there was a lot of roaches to attack him. Polt has shown, I feel like, that he's super solid against the Zergling Baneling into Muta style. So is roaches his weakness, or is he also really good against roaches?
You know, it's interesting, but as I look at this build from TooDming, generally speaking, when a Zerg player goes gas before spawning pool, it's almost always a speed opening. And the strongest timings that Zerg players have been hitting against Terrans with roaches are usually off of gasless builds. So this Overlord sees that it's going to be most likely a Reaper because he's able to see the gas timing, and the Reaper will make its way over to his base. But I don't think that TooDming is really set up well to go for any type of, I'd say, mid-game roach push. Maybe this could, if he wants to get aggressive, it could come a lot faster.
Yeah. Could a lot of links here do a lot of damage?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's actually a very realistic possibility, especially if
yeah, with that
he can
big ramp,
deny,
like how do you wall off?
Yeah, if you can deny that Reaper from doing any damage, that'd be really, really nice, especially if you kill it and can deny scouting. Polt not gonna be able to get any drone kills, and this is that point, that stage of the game we have a little bit of dancing to do. Merry-Go-Round has such a large main base that area where you have creep, where the Zerglings can actually catch the Reaper, it's not very big.
Yeah, Polt right now, he already knows that speed is going to finish at 6 minutes, as always, with his timing here. Has to be careful with his Reaper here. We saw him make some mistake here before with this. He's getting a third Reaper again, so where we see a Terran like Bomber not really get Reapers, Polt seems to love him. And in this situation, when he's up against a quick gas, or maybe just in general, he gets 3.
Yeah,
what do you make of these 3 Reapers?
I always like heavy Reaper play because...
New meta?
Yeah, well, the thing is...
What's the next meta then? 4? Sorry, finish.
I've seen 4 against Protoss, and that doesn't work very well. But the nice thing about opening Reapers like this against a Zerg that's opening with a gas build is, yeah, Zergling speed is going to help shut down the Reapers, but you usually have less Queens because you have to invest the resources into getting that gas and then the Zerglings as well. So these Reapers can generally do a lot more damage, but TooDming has defended pretty darn well so far, and I say as Zergling speed finishes, he hasn't accomplished, Polt hasn't really accomplished much. He's gotten scouting information, but that Overlord also got to see Polt's second gas in his main base. So he knows, he knows it's not a 3 command center build. Well, Polt's actually done this to go for his Marauder Viking setup, and since he's building a tech lab with his barracks, I don't think he's going to do, like, he doesn't have to do Hellbats. He could still do, like, Hellbat Banshee, but what's nice for TooDming is that he knows it's not a 3 command center build. He knows it's not a double engineering bay build, which means his biggest focus should be defend, defend, defend while getting a third. TooDming, you don't want to get aggressive versus a Terran player that sets himself up like this.
I really like the way Polt has played this. You know, I mentioned how speed was going to finish at around 6 minutes. That's the time Polt started his wall of at. He's not going to try to gamble. He's not going to leave his Reapers on the map. He left them back at home until he got the first 2 Hellions. He's got 2 more on the way, and Polt, as always, is looking to play this game in a super solid and standard way. The first Viking is on the way. He's going to start murdering Overlords as soon as it's out. And what do you think comes next here out of Polt? Another CC, or does he try and get a feel again what he's up against, then drop down either E-base or barracks or CC?
Well, I like the harass on this third hatchery, but there's something that Polt does that always slows down that third command center even more than you would typically expect, and it's building these Marauders constantly back home. He could go for the medevac after this Viking, but those Marauders are so expensive. You're not going to get your third command center very quickly, and TooDming, because he opened up with speedlings, like even those are pretty good against these Marauders if you can catch them fast enough. The biggest fear that he has is if these Hellions and Reapers can bait his forces out, because we know that Polt likes to build, upwards of 10 Hellions when the standard usually is just this 6 that he's already built.
And with the double Evo, we should be seeing 1-1 start very, very soon. Do you think TooDming should get a roach run now, like if he wants to play roaches, or can he delay it a little bit more? I feel like this will be too late. Is he really playing the Zergling Muta standard style with Banelings?
Yeah, so far it looks that way. So these upgrades are on the way. Polt started his armory before any engineering base, and these Marauders, his 4 Marauders, are going to kind of line up pretty well with his Stim Pack upgrade.
Hellbats.
We've seen Polt do this before, though. The 1 Marauder and the 2 Marauders and 1 Hellbat per medevac, double medevac drop in the main base. He's done this plenty of times. Yeah, and there's a lot of healing power, a lot of hit points, and you know what? It's really good against Zergling base plays, because if you keep those Marauders up front, they don't die when they're being healed.
By the way, the Viking got 0 kills so far. Can't find a single Overlord, so...
Very lonely
keep
Viking.
on looking. TooDming right now is... Well, is he supply blocked? No, why is he not making units? He's getting 2 Overlords. He's waiting to see exactly how big this army is, I guess.
Yeah.
He's got 10 Lavas, and he's not... Okay, 18 Zerglings. He's gonna start 18 Zerglings. I think he's finally starting to really respect this army, and he might be able to realize right now that there is gonna be Hellbats very, very soon. So he needs Banelings, but his Baneling nest is halfway through done.
And this is still a really tricky position to be in. He's relying on purely Zergling-based defense, but that means once all these Hellions turn into Hellbats,
He's getting a Spore instead of a
things
Spine.
get very tricky. Yeah, maybe he's not 100% sure what's coming his way. Here come the Hellbats, and he's doing that drop at the same time. Without Roaches, I mean, honestly, I look at this as the terrible. I'm like, how do you hold this off? But he needs to have fantastic Queen Micro. The Queens are still alive. He surrounds the Hellbats, but like that's going to do anything to these
Let
units.
the barbecue begin. The drop in the main is basically going to be undefended. There is a Spine there, but he should fall very quickly, and units start dying left and right here. 4 TooDming, 5 drones have been killed already, and so many Zerglings have fallen.
Yeah, this is a really tough spot to be in. Those Marauders lay waste to that Spine Crawler, and these Banelings, yeah, they'll kill the Hellbats, but, you know, at what cost? At what cost, Todd? These Marauders are going to kill the Macro Hatch in the main base. These Marauders have Stim, and 1-1 will complete for the Zerglings, so it gets a bit easier to kill these units, but I feel like Polt has already kind of done what he was looking to do. He's going to start his upgrades. The one thing I will say that TooDming did a good job of was not losing all of his drones. He only lost 6 workers and all of that. He still has, I'd say, an okay tech position because he has his lair, but he doesn't have a Spire. He doesn't have his 2-2 on the way yet. However, this is not a bad position to be in for the Zerg player because Polt, he still hasn't taken his 3rd base, and his upgrades, as I said, are very late.
I'm surprised that Polt didn't go for the snipe on that hatch in the main. He was very low in hit points, but right now he's caught up on the walker counts. He's forcing TooDming to make exclusively units right now, so that means he's going to be ahead soon on the SCV count against the drones of his opponent. And TooDming has had enough. I think he realized that he's behind. He's going to start morphing in a lot of Banelings in the middle of the map. He's going to go for it.
I think this counter could do a lot of damage as long as he can continue to defend his main base, which, I mean, he's done reasonably well so far. There are 24 Banelings, Todd.
Oh, 2 Widow Mines are gonna burrow. No, not yet.
They're not burrowed.
He's not looking.
Polt, you need these units. The Widow Mine, it does get killed before it can burrow. Another one does burrow. Manages to kill it still. Anyway, these Marines running back with Zerglings, getting on top of the SCVs. No, he's gonna go for the main base. He wants to get right on top of all of Polt's production. These Marines overstimmed, caught out of position. TooDming, has he done it?
Yeah, he's breached the base. In the meantime, those 2 Marauders across the map are not doing much. There are a lot of Zerglings in there. Can he defend? There's so many Zerglings doing a ton of damage. Polt's supply is falling very rapidly. And actually, TooDming is not resupplying. He's left his Zerglings outside of the natural of his opponent right now. This is so weird.
Yeah,
Both players making mistakes you usually wouldn't see them making.
Yeah, he's making just purling at this point. He's managed to start mining that 3rd base again. There's just a single Marauder in his main that's doing a little bit of damage, but this is just so much pressure. He's killed a ton of SCVs. Only 29 remain for Polt, so TooDming at the end of all of this will have that upgrade advantage, but he doesn't have a lot of tech behind this. He kind of wants to kill Polt right now because he doesn't have any anti-air to deal with counter drops that could come after this.
The Hellbats and Marines here trying to use those production facilities to deal as well as they can with those links, but TooDming is relentless. He's injecting in the meantime and sending so many units across the map to try and finish off his opponent. There is nothing left for Polt. 4 SCVs.
TooDming bringing his A game in the first map of this best of 3, and I gotta say, he's handled this map very well. An off-vetoed map. Spire is on the way. There's nothing left for Polt. No SCVs. He doesn't have a single worker on the map, and these Zerglings are going to continue to just devour what's left of Polt's base. Not even Hellbats can save him now as TooDming looks to take the first map in this series. A really solid hold of what many Zergs would call an impossible to stop push. GG is called. What a game from TooDming.
What a beast, man. I really like the choice of attacking the way he did with that many Banelings. He said, you know what? You've just sacrificed all of your Hellbats to kill, what, 6 drones and some of my army? I don't really care about this. I can just make a ton of Zerglings. I'm on 4 hatcheries. I'm gonna bust you. You're not gonna have enough back at home to hold me. Hellbats counts takes time to remake, and at this point he just had so many Banelings that even if there had been, say, like 4 Hellbats, I still think this attack would have worked. There was just too much here for TooDming, and Polt got caught off guard here. I don't think he saw this coming. He didn't even have the Widow Mines burrowed, he didn't have additional bunkers, and he had almost nothing left at home to really help him defend against this.
I'm just so impressed by how well he sets this up. This attack is really nice. The way that he's able to seize the one big opportunity he's going to get to counter right before all of Polt's production really starts to pay off. And he catches the Marines that are trying to run away. He actually kills one of the barracks very quickly. And Polt lost so many supply depots and all this, he actually wasn't building units. All of those barracks, supply block, not able to build anything. And yeah, he denies mining, but he didn't lose the drones.
If TooDming had gone for the SCVs immediately in the natural, I think he would have lost, because he would have killed a lot of SCVs, but then Polt would have been able to remake a lot of units. Yeah. So Polt was caught in a very difficult position here at this point. I mean, he lost a bunch of SCVs, he barely held, and then from there, he started remaking units, but he had lost so much already, and he lost his wall. So the doors are open. The gates of the swarm again. He just got swarmed.
Giving the camera some love. You know, I have to say as well, his defense of that initial Hellbat attack, like that kills. I tell you what, if you're a Terran player and you're watching this, you can do that build. You will probably win at least 50% of the time, even if you don't scout against a Zerg player with an attack like that. That is such a strong move to make, and it was so well executed by Polt. But the way that TooDming bought himself just enough time, used those Banelings, and still had enough Zerglings left over to make that counterattack work is what's most impressive, because he just does not make mistakes when it comes to injecting. And I also think it comes down, you mentioned he didn't kill the macro hatch. Like that's easily 20-some Zerglings that come out of there as well for that push.
Honestly, those top Zergs that play on the Korean ladder and that are very high up there, or even like just top Zergs in general, even in Europe, they don't miss injects, man. They have so much more than another Zerg would have at any point in the game. And that makes it so difficult to play against them, because it kind of feels like they're playing another race. They're playing it so well that you're not used of these situations all the time. So very, very difficult here for Polt to deal with this, especially since he didn't see it coming, I guess.
Yeah, and I just say once again, man, we're seeing the evolution of Zergs getting better at dealing with these Hellbat pushes, because that is about as strong. That's about as strong of an attack as you're going to have to go up against, especially from a player like Polt. So, time to see if he can close this series out. Can he be the first player from this group to advance on? He has to finish off this guy first in the top left. Cross spawn Frost. It's our red Terran player from CM Storm, Polt. And his opponent in the bottom right, one map win away from the top 8. His first top 8 appearance at WCS America from Team Zenith of Origins. It is TooDming.
There's Todd in his nickname, man. That's where he finds power. Kappa.
You can spell Todd from TooDming. I'll give you that.
You can spell TooDming without Todd.
You win.
Any chance we might see Polt do something like a CC first on this map, you think? Does he try and mix it up, or does he realize that it was just the initial attack in the previous game that just put him behind? And I mean, even though when he's behind, he's often able to pull miracles, in the last game it didn't prove true. What do you think?
I mean, I guess we can see that Polt's going to build the barracks, but Polt is not the player to change things up. Like, we can say, sure, if things are going well, then he doesn't need to do anything crazy, but he's going to go gasless on this map. We saw him go for a barracks expand once in his last series as
Maybe
well.
Gas 15?
No, Gas 15 has never been a Terran versus Zerg thing. I think it's only popular in the other matchups.
Alright, TooDming gonna be opening with the hatch first. Second Overlord is being sent towards the middle of the map. What do you make of this? He's trying to see if maybe there's no 2 racks over there, or he's not gonna prioritize scouting on the bottom left-hand side.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, because if Polt was in the bottom left, you wouldn't see him. But if there's a barracks hidden on the right center of the map, which is, I mean, of many places that you would check for a barracks, it's definitely going to be one of those random spots where if you found it, the other guy would accuse you of being a cheater, basically. But it's I guess he's just making sure, because that is probably the closest proxy location you could get to TooDming's base.
TooDming taking a bit of time to mine on his gas here. Guess he didn't want to rush that all that much. Wanted to get a few extra minerals before. And Polt's gonna scout cross map first.
Yeah, this is an interesting.
Time to accuse.
The thing is, if Polt, so look at it this way: if TooDming spawn in the bottom left or the top right, oftentimes if you're in the bottom left, like there are Zerg players that'll send an Overlord either way.
Oh yeah, Polt actually checks under CC.
Yeah, his Overlord would have been there already. So I think Polt he made an educated guess that TooDming would be cross spawns, because if TooDming was in the top right, even if he sent his first Overlord to the bottom, his second Overlord would have been pretty close to Polt's base anyway. So I don't think it's too crazy.
And he's playing a little bit scared. You see, he starts a quick bunker. Wants to play it safe here as much as possible. He's gonna look for an Overlord out on the map, man. Polt and these Marines or Bioforces out on the map, I think He's the only one who makes this work as well as he does every single time, be it against Protoss or Zerg.
And I think TooDming has just handled the way that Polt likes to play so far pretty well. And we could say only one game, but he didn't lose any Overlords to that Viking. And just think when you're trying to make a big Zergling surge like that as you're being attacked, if you lose 1 or 2 Vikings, your supply could be like, oh well, now I'm missing 16 Zerglings. That could just cost you the game right there. So
I mean, even opening with a Viking is a big investment. You're not getting a Medivac instead. You're slowing down your reactor on your starport and all that. So.
And the thing is, well, these Zerglings actually going to find these Marines that are hidden out on the map, running around the tower, little ring around the Rosie, but he should be able to kill all these off. So that's nice. But you know, you make a good point though. Thing is,
14 links, 20 links on the way for TooDming. I think he's gonna try for a timing, hoping that Polt is not gonna be walled off. And I guess since he picked off the Marines, he knows that there is gonna be less back at home for Polt to be able to hold. And you know what? Polt is not running off right now. He might be caught off guard here.
He's starting
against
2 barracks. He's not gonna have any money to invest in that wall super fast. He has enough resources to begin 2 depots. That would be enough to block this off.
He's not gonna see it coming. He has nothing out on the map.
There's no SCV even near this wall to start another depot.
Oh, and he's not. Okay, no, he's gonna wall off his ramp now. With the factory that's flying there, but
TooDming, if he goes now, I'm scared. Hold me,
2
Todd.
Hellions start now.
He's gonna get in. He can surround the bunker. He can pick this off. There's no Hellions on the map, and this is still a really big investment from TooDming. So Polt immediately raises the depots into his main base. Once those Hellions are out, he can control the main base at least reasonably well. He shouldn't expect to break that, but he can kill these mules. He can kill SCVs. He can kill these
those
supply
mules
depots.
just landed as well. Hellions are gonna have to be basically staying in the main until there is at least 4. And they can move out. Those depots are going to be sniped. Polt, he's going to be supply blocked, I think, here maybe in a second.
Yeah, this is a really nice play. This is one of those really frustrating things when you're playing Terran. You're like, man, if I had 1 more supply depot, this whole attack does pretty much nothing. But this is a really great way because he not only delays that, but now he can only build 1 SCV at a time. He doesn't have the second mule anymore. And I guess he lost the mule from his main base as well. But this is just really frustrating because if he moves down too quickly and those Zerglings come out, like, Polt's not 100% sure. There could be another 20 or so lings moving across the map, and then he gets sandwiched outside his natural. It's a really tough spot.
You think TooDming left a little bit too early, or was that right on time? Well, I mean, when there is 4 Hellions, can he not try to go back up and surround them if they move down?
I think TooDming's macro is too good to chance the game on pushing that attack. He got exactly what he needed out of it, and he has his 3rd base done. He did not... Like, he started his lair as soon as he could after that, and it's not the fastest lair possible, but it's also not really that late. He can still have Mutalisks out around 11.5, 12 minutes.
He transformed his early lead into a big worker counts lead as well. 49 drones to 26 SCVs right now. That means TooDming is going to have such a better production than Polt. How do you tech from there if you're Polt? I guess you get the starport, maybe try and get some Medivacs, but right now he's only producing units out of 3 barracks and out of a single factory. You think he goes maybe for a timing and try to punish basically the possible overdroning of his opponent? I guess those Hellions are going to help in doing some damage.
Yeah, Polt really needs to actually kill, I think, kill a good number of units with these Hellions. Every one that TooDming can pick off is a really nice victory. The one that got caught behind isn't killed, but there's the Spire on the way. These Zerglings, like, if Polt can kill these off and kill some drones, I don't think he's too far from buying his way back into this game, but he still doesn't have a 3rd command center.
By the way. He's making more drones, 1 more Queen as well. He might lose all of these links and then maybe some extra drones as well. He's trying to get this around. Polt stepped on Creep, so he's going to lose some Hellions here and there, but he's got 5 alive. I think Polt is expecting Zerglings to be out right now. If he knew that there's basically no Zergling left, except a single one on the map right now, he will get in there, try to get some more drones, and then evacuate. But look at this. He's moving across the map. Polt is actually going for a 2-base timing. I don't think I've ever seen it coming, seen it happen before.
So here's the thing, right? TooDming actually saw those barracks building when he made his initial pressure. He does have a Baneling nest already prepared. These Zerglings would really like to kill the Hellions, because those Marauders, they're not going to worry too much about the Baneling part of this defense, but the creep spread looks solid enough so far. There is stim, but there's no medevacs.
55 to 19. Polt has so much right now. He needs to make this work. TooDming's trying to reinforce as well as he can. He's getting 20 more Zerglings. The Spire is about to finish, but I don't think Mutas... Well, I guess Mutas could be good.
Yeah.
If he kills all of those Marines,
and
then gets like 5 Mutas.
He doesn't have any minerals to build Mutalisks with, though. And this is... the tricky part is Polt needs to actually pretty much kill TooDming with this. And I think he's doing exactly what he needs to do so far. These Hellions have gone in with the Marauders. They've significantly slowed him down. And I think Polt has just about done it. I'd be really impressed if TooDming could get it, because these Hellions are just the most annoying part of the equation.
Yeah, the third base looks like he's gonna get sniped here. TooDming, he might have fought a little bit too early here. He's trying to get more links and Bane links as well. In the meantime, Polt, you know what? He's getting more SCVs. He started a starport as well. And man, is this army scary.
A really nice counterattack by Polt swings this game heavily into his favor. And, you know, TooDming, after seeing that those two barracks, maybe he wasn't looking at them, but if he had some banelings pre-prepared or a little bit more, it's funny as it sounds, the Marine count is so low that 4 mutas could almost do it, but...
He's gonna kill them too now. There is only 2 Marines left. Those mutas taking forever. Probably right now TooDming is feeling to come out. There's 11 mutas.
The drones are lined up coming out to the main base, and they're getting roasted, Todd. This is a disaster for TooDming. Yeah, these Mutalisks can't be hit by the Hellions, but by the time they kill them, everything else will be dead on the ground. 1-1 will complete for TooDming, but I don't think that's enough.
Fell. He lost the hatchery on the natural. TooDming is on 1 base with 28 drones against 40 SCVs now. Polt has completely turned this game around.
Now, these Mutalisks would need to be the most powerful Mutalisks ever spawned, and they are not enough. GG's called. Polt takes game number 2. He's going to tie this series up 1-1. And for all the damage that TooDming did early on, I really liked his position, except it just, man, that attack, that follow-up push from Polt. There's the cheers for TooDming. Unfortunately, I cannot read that.
Me neither. But I'm sure he wants to support his fellow countryman, TooDming, who, honestly, like in this game, I can't blame him. The way he played him, like he played it really well with the Zergling attack. And then you're up against Polt. You're probably thinking, well, you know what? It's Polt. How often does he do a 2-base timing like this to try and basically come back into a game? Well, the answer is when he has to, because this is what he had to do. This was one of the only things I feel he could do in this game. If he had tried to come back in the macro game, he would have been so far behind on the walk account. And TooDming seriously underestimated this initial attack. He started making drones when he saw the Hellions plus the Bioforces behind.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, I think TooDming got really, maybe overly comfortable. Either he saw the 2 barracks and he thought to himself, I have enough to defend since I've killed enough workers, I've delayed that natural expansion enough, but the way that Polt set himself up with this many Marauders, like he just has them all spread out. And he says, yeah, if you want to get to the Hellions, if you want to get to the Marines, you have to run through a bunch of these. And without Baneling speed, he's never going to get there in time.
I think he shouldn't have tried to save that base.
No,
the thing is, all the lavas, everything that comes out from that hatch would have died. And there was units stuck on the right-hand side. So I think TooDming probably realized, well, you know what? I really need to try and save that, because if I lose that base, I'm going to lose the game. But he didn't have enough just yet. It was like 19 army supply to 55. It was just never going to work, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I think it was just a case of underestimating how much Polt was capable of after his early pressure. Maybe TooDming thought he did a bit more damage than he actually did. But
that micro, though, man.
A micro.
You can tell Polt was a Warcraft player.
Actually, was not aware of that. But we're loaded into the 3rd game, the final game of our winners match, guys. The first player to go to the round of 8 from this group will be decided by this game on Overgrowth. And that first player in the bottom left, our red Terran player who just tied the series up 1-1 from CM Storm. It is Polt. Really solid defense into counterattack. Could have lost a lot more. His opponent in the top right trying to seize opportunities, but not able to make it materialize in that map. From Zenith of Origins, it is the Zerg player, TooDming.
You know what, Polt, he won with a different build than he usually does in the previous game. He opened gasless, went for the CC, and in the end, even though that at first it looked pretty bad for him, he was able to make it work. So I guess it makes sense that, you know, Polt is one of those guys that's able to open almost any way he wants and make it work. But usually we really, more often than not, see him just play a single style. And that's drone here. He's going to go and check for some potential 2 racks that could be proxied. Yeah, even against Polt, you know?
Yeah, TooDming's not taking any chances. And I can't blame him.
Can you take the gold against the Terran on this map?
No. I mean, if Polt...
It's TooDming, man. Come on.
TooDming's good.
Can do whatever he wants.
That would be too bold a move, I think. Just imagine if a Reaper shows up. Your nearest queen is light years away.
Yeah, you have the gold base.
I've got the gold.
It's always a win, man.
I have no drones, so there's that. So I got that going for me, which is nice. But this drone scout is kind of nice. He can confirm there's no Reaper, which means if he wants, he could take a really fast 3rd base before he gets anything else. I mean, even Marine pressure can be nice, but Polt, he's kind of shown he's only looking to kill Overlords anyway.
Yeah, I think TooDming from there, just he likes to play it with a quick gas before he's pulled, even though he goes hatch first.
I like that he raised the depot just to make the drone walk farther out. It's like just being annoying, even though there's no wall.
You like that, don't you? Being annoying.
Sometimes.
I've seen you play, Nate.
Command center on the way for Polt. That Marine, you know, he's looking for Overlords in all the wrong places. There are none to be found.
Yeah.
I think TooDming's realized the secret is not have Overlords for Polt to kill.
Why did Polt place his barracks the way he did? Like he doesn't have gas to go for an add-on on it. So is he planning that far ahead?
So imagine an Overlord flies by this. It pretty much looks like it's going to be a Reaper. Then your Overlord sits over that barracks because it looks like it's going to be a Reaper, and a Marine pops out and kills your Overlord.
The mind games are strong with this one.
Yeah. See, that's really annoying. That's how I knew that one. 2 gas on the way for Polt, and speed is on the way once again for TooDming. He's been kind of going, like, I guess I want to call this like lifestyle-ish, where you get the fast speed, but he doesn't have to commit with it. Like, he didn't commit with it in the first game, but...
Dude, those Marines moving out on the map. Is this Polt's trademark now? I guess...
Lots of Terrans have actually been doing this recently.
Okay. Even in the previous game, to be honest, he was trading decently against those Zerglings, and he I guess if he catches an Overlord out of position, it could be huge. He could completely snowball...
Yeah, it's one of those things that also really quickly upset a Zerg player. Like, if you're really focused on the game and you lose that first Overlord, suddenly you feel like the rest of the game, you're like, oh, I don't feel like I'm quite on the beat, you know? That everything's set behind just a little bit, and even that much...
It's annoying.
It's very annoying.
I like that one link here by TooDming going around to try and get a scout. Sadly for him, I don't think he's going to be able to see much except that one bunker. And in this game, I don't think TooDming is going to be looking to try again for the same kind of Zergling rush, because he's droned up quite a bit already. He has 7 more drones on the way. He's gone up to 4 queens already, going to be starting with the creep spread. He has speed finished, so if he wants to get some links to defend any kind of attack, he can just do that. Double additional barracks behind the factory. What do you make of this? Does this mean aggression here out of Polt? Kind of like in the previous game?
Oh yeah, this has aggression written all over it.
This is a map where it's super hard to scout, right?
Yeah, I mean, just look at it. The way that he set himself up, yeah, I didn't kill any Overlords, but that means no Overlords were close by to be killed, which means they can't see anything in Polt's base. TooDming's only Overlord is on the left side. He has more than enough Marines to kill that Overlord before it can accomplish anything. Polt has like 5 Marines out, which is a pretty good number to have, but right before your Hellions start. So I think we could see a very similar attack to the last game. He's even going to have +1 attack with it, with this engineering bay.
Is this always with Stim, or do you get combat shields sometime?
Thing is, Stim and combat shield have like the same research time. Stim is just 10 seconds longer, so I don't think.
Yeah, but you won't have medivacs, and you will have like a ton of Marines, I guess.
If you kill the Zergling,
actually, he goes double tech lab. So is he going to go Marauder heavy?
Marauder. Oh yeah, I guess it's going to be like a Marauder Hellion. He could actually get an armory at some point too if he really wanted. This Overlord's going to come in, and everything here looks standard so far because he knew that there were some Marines on the map, but doesn't see the extra barracks, and that's the really big problem because he also doesn't see the gases. He has actually very little idea of what's going on. He could end up joining in like these evolution chambers. He's going to invest in upgrades, and Polt's upgrades are just ahead enough. He's actually going to get combat shield and Stim at the same time, so you get the best of both worlds there.
I feel like if he was to do a very strong timing, even maybe pull some SCVs here and there, this for TooDming will be so hard to hold because he seems to like to overdrone a little bit, and I think Polt might have picked up on that. And also, that third base by TooDming was, I guess, not taken super late, but still kind of late, you know? So there's not going to be too much creep spread there. So how do you engage outside of the creep if Polt is just sitting there? It's just going to be super difficult overall. And Polt has shown that when he has a lot of bio, when he has Hellions, he makes magic happen. He moves around the map in those fights. He makes sure he splits very well, and it's very hard to deal with those attacks out of him.
Yeah, Polt is just really good at making these types of pushes work. But look at this, TooDming.
Oh, TooDming is gambling a little bit. He's moved out of position with his Zerglings. I don't think Polt is going to risk it for now.
Yeah, the thing is, you know,
sick crisp spread,
you mentioned something very important with that Baneling nest. It's that TooDming has the ability to set himself up defensively very well ahead of time. And if these Zerglings, all he needs to do is see this push coming, and he'll tell him everything. The Hellions,
he's gonna see it.
Oh, the Hellions saw him. You think he might have just
He's morphing units. TooDming is preparing some aggression himself. I don't think this is for the attack that's coming. he was preparing to do a huge attack himself.
He's you
Man.
know what's most important is that he's still building links. He's not building drones behind this push.
He's going to see this now.
His Zerglings will come in from the back, and he has actually Zerglings headed over to that third base, I think. So if he could sandwich this army, if he kills this, he's in a great position.
TooDming is out of position. He's going to take
the tricky part.
He's going to take quite some time for him to come back here, but he has the units to deal with this army of Polt.
Yeah, there's the Zerglings on the right. He's got the Zerglings on the left. Those Banelings, man, they're so slow, waddling their way over. Here they come. TooDming hitting from all directions. But those Banelings, okay, now they're hitting a few of the Marines. This is pretty good. He needs to just corner those Hellions, and I think he's going to be able to do that, Todd.
Oh man, the barbecue. A few drones died here and there, but not that many. Actually, no drones died.
No drones will die today, Todd. A phenomenal defense by TooDming, who's still sitting on 3 bases. He can crank out drones if he wants, but he's going to build Zerglings. His 1-1 is complete. However, I don't think this is one of those times you can just counterattack. Actually, Polt, he just got another attack ready to go.
How do you lose 0 drones to this? Oh my god, I really like the Banelings morphing, but actually, since Polt is moving out, he's going to have to cancel those. He tries to go for the surround, but there is more units behind it. TooDming is committing maybe a little bit too much here, but he thinks that's the right move.
Yeah, these Zerglings with that +1 trying to kill these Marauders, and you know he forces the stim. He's going to slow this down, but TooDming, he has to just continue pumping out units. Polt behind this, that 3rd command center on the way. He's got his +1 armor coming in. He needs an engineering band and an armory. This lair is so late that if TooDming doesn't find a way to kill Polt very soon, or at least cripple him, he's gonna be in a world of hurt in the next few minutes.
He's got the good creep spread going for him, but he doesn't have that much more supply. And now Polt has got up on the warp account.
Yeah, I agree with what you said before. I think he should have, when he moved that on the map, he overextended himself. I don't know, these Zerglings and ninjas. The wall was up, so that's nice, but it's
finally
not
some
crazy
walkers
amount.
died, and it's TooDming who killed him.
Yeah, just 4. Not enough yet. TooDming needs to defend this without losing everything and then be able to just squeeze out a ton of drones, but he's still just producing tons and tons of Zerglings, while Polt's building up to the army composition he wants for the late game, and that lair is just so late.
The armory.
It's going to finish like almost 13 minutes.
The armory was made pretty late too. I think TooDming's trying to catch this army out of position. There is a single medivac with his units. If he was to catch them, he will kill a lot here. Does he see it? He's going to see it. And it's morphing even more Banelings as well. Oh, he's going to try to catch the Hellions.
Oh, this is really important. Those Hellion splash is so good versus this. Zerglings are actually just going to try to surround this army, but there's that medivac. Oh, this choke point.
Oh my god.
So this choke with the
Polt
Hellions.
is so good.
Polt is so good. These Banelings are going to move in. The Zerglings are on both sides, but when you're tucked in like this, as soon as these units start to die, you can just pick up in the medivac, and that's exactly what Polt does. Now he knows, hey, you're right outside my base. And he's got a lot of units behind to defend in his natural. 1-1
has completed for both players here. Polt with the earlier 2-2 started. More Banelings are going to be morphed, and TooDming he's going for it. Even though he has a lot of drones, he wants to be doing more damage onto Polt's economy or even his army. He starts 10 drones though, so I guess he's not going to commit. He might even pull back, I wonder.
I mean, this is about it. This is about as committed as you get, Todd. Moving forward, takes out the bunker, takes out the initial part of the wall, trying to split so that those Widow Mines don't get the big hits, but it will hit just a few links. And you know, TooDming is actually getting on top of this army, but there is a lot here for Polt. TooDming trying to split off. He knows he needs to kill some workers as well, but with this many Marines, I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh my god, the target fire by Polt on those Widow Mines. Did you see the left-hand side one? He delayed the attack from that one for so long, and then he got a big chunk of those Banelings. He made sure he defended this well, and now I feel like TooDming threw away a lot of army there. So even though he made quite a few drones behind this, he didn't really have to sacrifice this much. The army supply 67 for Polt, 36 for TooDming. I really wonder, remember what Roddy said, you either go all in or you don't do an attack, you go for the economy. And now TooDming tried to do both again. He went for the attack and at the same time made drones, and it just wasn't going to work against somebody who micros as well as Polt. So behind this he's getting pneumatized carapace, 2-2, a bunch of spores here and there, which I quite like, in each middle line.
Yeah, at this point, I would say that, you know, TooDming is behind. He's significantly behind. These 2-2 upgrades finishing up for Polt with this drop are going to put him in a really good position to get aggressive. And as this medevac comes in, these Zerglings not in position to catch the units just yet. And then that, you know, those upgraded Marines, the 2-2 finishing in just a few seconds time makes this really hard in case he delays that drop, which is nice, but he can't defend his creep.
Yeah, his second factory is on the way as well. Polt again, he wants to go for that Widow Mine heavy style. I wonder if TooDming's going to engage. Polt's on creep right now. He's trying to clear as much creep as he can. TooDming's behind on supply, but that may be his cue to engage here.
Yeah, I don't know if he can take this fight without Baneling speed, though. He's going to try to catch this army, but the Banelings move so slow he can just pick up into the mid-max. Okay, that's a nice detonation, but still a lot of Polt's forces escape.
TooDming having a macro archer on his natural is is really, really helping with his production. That drop in the main looking quite scary. When there's just a few links there, he might have to send in reinforcements, but you know what? Zerglings are going to come in a straight line. Oh, that Spine Spore might finally help.
Yeah, this is still really nice. So the Medivac, he just kills a few drones, he gets out, he still has the drop, he still has the threat of the drop, which, you know, some players would say is more important than the drop itself, Todd, because this army on the left side, he would like to devote all of his attention towards stopping it.
Polt has done such a good job. Look at how much creep he has denied. There's actually a single creep tumor in the middle of the map. Those two banelings.
These two banelings are on a quest. And
how is it going to end? They're headed straight for the third. They're being ignored. There is a bunker, an empty bunker there. They could get a lot of SCVs.
There's a movie about this somewhere. These two little banelings on a quest. It's like a little... Oh, and... That was great. He actually gets Zerglings in here too somehow. This army on the left side, he gets a decent position on it. There's still a lot of Marauders with it, but he's going to clean it up. He still has a lot of Zerglings on the way. So TooDming, he's making that macro work, and you know those couple banelings, they net themselves about 6-7 SCV kills. It's not too bad.
More creep spread was denied here, and Polt, he started 3 attack upgrades. Not the armor just yet. He's getting Drilling Claws. This attack looks so scary. Polt, he saved a lot of these Widow Mines. He didn't push with them earlier, so now he's up to 13 against the TooDming, who's only on Zergling, Baneling, and Mutas. He has 8 Banelings, 11 Mutas, 69 Zerglings. So Polt, if he, again, he macros this perfectly, but hold on, TooDming is going to engage as soon as he can.
Oh, he's getting on top of this army. The Baneling connections are actually pretty damn good so far. These Widow Mines are not doing a lot for the CM Storm player, and this is... Well, that Widow Mine shot was good, but TooDming, how did he defend that? Now the drop is in his main base. I think this is where Polt's going to try to get another edge back, though.
Polt's got too overeager here. He thought there was no creep left, but you know what? Creep tumors were dropped as soon as the creep was denied here. So he's gonna get this point.
Oh, he's gonna get the... Oh?
No.
No, okay. That's a really nice save for TooDming, as he didn't even have another one on the way yet, so...
Polt has so many Widow Mines, by the way. He's remade a whole bunch. He's gonna move again into that position on the left-hand side where there's a lot of creep tumors. If you drop creep tumors, he detonates the Widow Mines, right?
No. Tumors won't be... They count as buildings, technically. You can't target them with Widow Mines.
I thought I had seen it before. Maybe it was changelings, I guess.
Yeah.
And okay, he's gonna clear the creep here. This might be the cue for TooDming to engage as soon as possible, but he's morphing a few Banelings, 3 in total.
Yeah, he wants to hit that right side base, and I know I like this decision as long as he can defend, which, I mean, hey, he's defended pretty darn well so far. Why not again?
This Mutas doing some work here. He's gonna snipe some of those Widow Mines. TooDming is attacking the main army of Polt here, but actually he's missing a lot of those units. Polt are in middle of the map. He's gonna attack the wall on the right-hand side. There's a Widow Mine there.
And these Banelings will not be denied entry, but they won't hit the SCVs? No. Well, the Zerglings can still try to focus a few down while the Marines in the bunker come in. These Widow Mines are going to burrow the Banelings. Actually, don't hit too many good connections, so now suddenly these Marines can get just a little bit more done. Oh, those Widow Mines. Now they're getting some work done, Todd.
Polt handled this beautifully. He knew that TooDming was looking at the Zerglings on the bottom right-hand side, so he made sure that he engaged as soon as possible against this army of TooDming, even outside of the creep. So TooDming traded very, very poorly in that fight. He's still stuck on Lair against the turn that's about to be 3-3. And I think Polt has done it here. Having this many Widow Mines against the Zergling Baneling army? Yeah. 15 Widow Mines, man. How do you deal with this?
Yeah, I'd say 15 Widow Mines do the trick. Planetary Fortress on the way at the 4th base, which is going to be the almost the nail in the coffin here as these Banelings roll in once again. Polt splits just a little bit too well. And for all the efforts that TooDming has put in, it will not be enough. GG, Polt will advance to the round of 8 here at WCS America.
After some very, very close games. And we're going to have a rematch of our first match of the day. We're going to have Bomber take on TooDming in a few moments. He's going to have a chance at redemption, a chance at revenge.
Revenge.
In the TVZ.
You know what? I actually really like TooDming in that match against Bomber because, man, as good as Polt played, TooDming showed some scary play with how well he was able to defend some of those attacks. I'd say there were at least 3 times in this match where I thought he was going to be dead sooner than he was before, and didn't happen.
Bomber really demolished Czech, though. Even though he lost to TooDming the first game, he demolished Czech completely, like much harder than what Polt did.
I don't know. I'm on TooDming's side now, man.
What I'm trying to say is that we are about to have a clash of the Titans, man. Both players are on their A game, and even though they met before, and one of them wasn't playing that well yet, and TooDming lost here, I really feel like this is going to be a big match with a lot of Banelings and Bioforces.
Yeah,
not many Roaches. We haven't seen they are not getting any love today.
Have any Roaches been made today? Not really. I haven't seen any roaches.
Maybe they watched the last group when there was like all the Zergs playing, and they're like, seen enough of those units. It's the Zergling and Baneling's time.
Yeah, that's actually really funny. There haven't been any roaches today. It's time to hear from our winner, though, who has made it to the top 8 once again. Let's go over to the main stage with Polt and Clutch.
Thank you, gentlemen. Polt, huge sigh of relief as you walked up here. Congratulations, you've made it to the round of 8 once again. How do you feel?
I'm really happy. Actually, I thought Bomber could beat TooDming and gonna play him, but he lost, and so it would be, well, because Bomber is really well known as a good player, so it would be kind of easier than Bomber to play TooDming, but well, he was really, really good, so I had a really hard match.
Yeah, TooDming surprised a lot of us here, and he still has one more chance. He's going to have to face Bomber. Let's talk about game number 2. What was your opener initially, and what did you have to do to stabilize and then come back?
In the first game, I blocked the entrance of my natural, but he didn't do much that mass circling things. But so I expected he's not gonna do it again, of course. But he did it at that time, so I lost like 6 SCVs and 2 mules. It was really bad for me. Actually, I had to all in, really desperate, but it worked.
Now in game 3. You got sandwiched a little bit when you went up to his base. Instead of aggressing down south, he came up to your forces. What did you focus on next? Was it getting the Widow Mines out? Was it proper positioning? Did you think about dropping? How did you adapt to what he was bringing in game 3?
Firstly, since I lost my unit, they went out. But so I had to defend because he used some circling bending all-ins in the first game, and well, it looks very aggressive, so I just focused on defending and come back in a very late game. So, and he actually did some that bending burst all-ins, and I defended, so I could come back.
That's one of your trademarks, how to defend against those Banelings, especially with your splits. It was great to see that action once again, this Terran versus Zerg matchup. Polt, we're going to see you this Saturday. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans?
Well, I was really sorry in the last season because everyone expected me to win 3 times in a row. But if you remember the last year, well, first season was not that good. This year is the same. Second season and third season will be mine.
3 out of 4 so far ain't bad, Polt. Congratulations once again. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, the decider match between our last 2 players. Stay tuned.